Norrie Kerr, ex-racer, scooter racer.
What's made you come back to do endurance racing?
Him.
Who's him?
Dave Delaney.
How you doing there, folks?
When was the last time you raced, Norrie?
2001, Darley Moor. Last race of my career, so to speak.
So that's quite a while ago, and you're what, 73, nearly 74 now?
Yes.
So why have you come back after 19 years?
Dave got me interested in it, and somebody needed a frame, somebody had an engine, and the two had to come together. And he said, well, you might as well get involved. If you're going to put the frame for it, you might as well be involved. That way he knows that I'm going to want to be involved if I'm putting my frame in it. He's not one, you know. Good lad.
Recently you went testing up at Teeside.
Yeah.
So
bad day.
Yeah,
bad day for me, but great day for Dave Steele. He had a beezer of a ride. I contacted him afterwards. I told him he was really on the button, wasn't he?
Is Dave an old friend of yours from?
Yes, he's a Derby District Scooter Club lad. Known him since I moved down here.
And not to forget as well, Dave Steele was one of the original lineup for Team Vespa.
Yeah, we're all Team Vespa in the team. So it was nice to be asked to come back and have a wee ride. So I'm not going to be as quick as these boys, I have to say that to you. They're on fire. This boy is something special, believe me.
When you say it wasn't a good day for you, what?
Well, aches and pains, the bike wasn't set up, I wasn't happy with it. We didn't rush to get it ready, but maybe my heart wasn't in it when it should have been at the last, just getting the bike ready for the practice. But they had literally no front brake, which was useless. And we had trouble with the gears. It wasn't right. The gear change was flopping all over the place. Should have been changed. And I pulled one out now, and we put it in, and it's rock solid. I was going from third down to second, and it ended up in neutral every time on the hairpin to climb a wee hill. And of course, what you got to do there, if you miss it, you got to come down to first, and you're straggling on the corner. And I felt out of sorts. I wasn't comfortable. But we've made changes to it, and I've made changes so far that I'm happy with, and I know it'll work. We've got a super front brake now, which you'd think it would have had in the first place, but we had trouble with it, didn't we?
Even though it was all new.
Yeah, everything was new, but we just could not get it to operate and function, and we thought taking it up it would bed in, but it never responded. And I've rebuilt it with an original Type 90 hub. The later ones have got a larger pivot pin for the brake shoes to work, and it just didn't work. Didn't do the trick. This one does. And gear change, a few other changes we've made, routing the cables. Again, it's things that maybe, you know, if I'd have been thinking about it in a more serious vein when I was doing it, we wouldn't have just got them in and tied them up. We'd have looked at making sure there was a smooth route, you know. But we're there now, we're getting there. Just 2 gear cables to do, new cables in, even though they are new. And we'll make sure there's no snaking of the gear cables in the frame, and get away out there on the 11th for a practice.
Friday afternoon.
Friday, that's the 11th, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Friday 11th. Saturday the 12th we ride.
Yeah, right, stay.
It's 3 days before your 74th birthday, Norrie.
Yes, and our competition number is 15, which is my birthday.
How does Janet feel about you racing again?
She's not worried, she says if you're daft enough to do it, I can always visit you in hospital, things like that. No, she's okay. She knows that I've now got a temperament that says if I'm not happy, I won't do it because I'm not happy with it, you know. But I'm much more happy with the setup we've got. We've got the tank. Chris Lawrence, our other team member in the team, he was on holiday. He couldn't come to the practice day, but he had this in his collection, gave us it, and when we got it all cleaned out and ready to use, tapped a new tap in it, blah blah blah, then we find a pinhole in it which gushes fuel everywhere. But we got that sorted thanks to Dave, and you know, it's a real achievement to get something from the good. Bear in mind, this has been standing for 5.5 years, 5 years. This was at a state, I've got a PK engine for it. PK engine still there. It was a mint PK engine I bought off the insurance when I was at Midland. In those days you could put a bid in and get the bike. and this guy had ruined the frame, and it was a write-off as far as they were concerned. And I had the engine out and sold everything else off and made more money for the bits than we paid for the whole scooter. So I was quite pleased with that.
So has this been raced before this?
No. It's the first time out in it. It goes quite well. We've got good.
It does, yeah. It does, and obviously we used to race at the Landbar circuit, what it was called before the extension.
Yep.
So it was nice to go back up there and revisit the old circuit as well.
In the old days, it was Guy Topper once commented that it was like racing round the rim of a soup bowl, because it was just an oval with a chicane in it and a little infield bit. That infield bit's still there. Slows it down, you know, it's sensible to do that. Fond memories, we've all done well there and crashed. Sadly, Mark Green, one of Team Vespa, he's probably going to be there helping us on the day. He crashed at Langbar and broke his heel, which was he still suffers from it. That's how bad things get. And I'm finding my hip that I did at Mallory in '85 is coming back to haunt me now. I thought for years I'd cleared it and it was no problem, but it's got to be that the problem is. It was a pretty awful accident. So anyway.
Yeah. You're looking forward to getting back out there, or a bit?
Aye, no. The boys are going to do the business. I'm just backing them up. I'm just going to make sure the bike's purling round. It won't set anything on fire. Maybe it will when I get a wee bit of laps under my belt. I'll probably have a ride out on Friday in the practice, certainly, just to check the bike, make sure I'm happy with it.
If you ride it anything like his GTS on a Wednesday Emerson night, I think you'll do just fine.
I'm just looking forward to it. I'll get a buzz. You need a buzz. Everybody needs a buzz. No use getting. I think I told you last night. There's times in your life when you change, and I mean my body strength is low now. I don't have the strength in my upper body. I think I told you about Kenny Roberts and Randy Mamola. Kenny Roberts was at Donington. We had our company had a hospitality suite, and we got to mix with all the car racers, Riccardo Patrese, Carlos Reutemann, all these kind of people, Damon Hill. They were always up there riding around, driving, and they had a bike day one day, and it was Kenny Roberts, and he had his son Kenny Roberts Jr. there, and he was launching his own machine, if you remember, and Randy Mamola was riding, I think it was a Suzuki, I'm pretty sure it was a Suzuki, and he says, go on, have a shot. He did about 12 laps, came in, go on Kenny, have a ride, let me know what you think. So he went out and he came in, it was two laps later, and he came in and he said, what do you think? He said, I can't ride it. I said, what do you mean you can't ride it? He said, oh, my upper body strength after 3-4 months away from riding, I've lost it. They train for that, you see. They train their body to do certain points. When you're putting the brakes on a bike at 130 mile an hour for a bend, your upper body strength has to be dead right. Even for a Poxy wee scooter, it still has to be right, because that bike will be doing what down the back straight? 80. And if you're going to put the anchors on, you've got to have the power to stop or get it into a position where you can get round the bend without worrying about brakes. But aye, so I'm a bit weak at it's part and parcel of it, you know. Old age catches up with you. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. But like I said, you need the buzz. You need to have the. And when I saw Dave going so well, I thought, really, I should be driving. That's no disrespect to Dave, but I should be doing that as well. And I thought, yeah, well, you know, the bike's not right. What do you do? And then you sort it out and you think, right, I'm ready to tinkle. Maybe have a wee dabble, you know. At least keep up a momentum. Not worry too much. Once I'm seated on it, I'm okay. But legs are sore and that, you know, you get old. You get kneeling on it. He has me kneeling on the floor fixing it. I mean, what can I say?
So for people that's not seen you race for a while, do you think you'll be racing again after this, or is this?
No. Farewell after this. Seriously, you've got to be sensible. I mean, if I fall off, I could hurt myself. And I could be in hospital for 3 months repairing it. So I don't want to do anything silly, but I want to have a bit of fun. I don't want to scare anything in the track, and I want to compete, or I want to keep the laps up. That's what I want to do. Just while they're having a cup of coffee and watching me and laughing, because they will. I just keep the momentum up, keeping it circulating. That's what it's about.
Yeah, it's endurance, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you know yourself from last year, there's a whole range of different lap times going off out there, so there's always someone to have a bit of fun with and follow around. And
it's a busy track as well, isn't it, all the time? So
yeah,
good fun.
it is really good.
Once it gets sorted out, I'll be the last on it. It'll be probably, we'll set the pace with Steely.
Yeah.
Then we'll get, this is our team manager as well as the other team's rider, because he can control us then and make sure he beat us. And I'll go out last, and that way the bike will be well set, and I'll hopefully be champing it a bit to get on it and go and do a bit. Aye. It's a Quattrini 135, 140?
126.
126? Oh, I'm disappointed. 126, and it's a smashing barrel. It is horrendously quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Really
it's quicker than yours, isn't it, you said?
It's not about the same.
Yeah, fabulous. We've done a lot of work to it when we got it. First thing, Dave Steele, who owns the engine, gave it to me and said, I want you to cast your eye over it, and it needed work. There was no doubt about it. It couldn't go out the way it was, could it? Couldn't have gone. So I stripped it, rebuilt it, finished matching the ports, etc. Well, I say properly. To my liking, and got everything built up with Dave. We had to helicoil a few studs, etc., and get it built. And then we had the problem with the clutch. Got that done, moved on, put an FL2 clutch in it, and the clutch is wonderful now. I'm even looking forward to using it. The frame, originally it was a 90 frame, a standard 90, and I had it cut down and done as a replica for myself, just something to play with. I have my other 90 SS, the red one, which is all original, but I don't get enough usage out of it, and it's just unbelievable. But I wanted to do this. I did this just for saying. Tomo painted it from Solly for me, did the cutting, leg shields, etc. And it lay up in Scotland with me for some time with a PK 125 engine in it, a Minter, all original, never been stripped, never been touched, turns over, fires, does everything. And I thought we'll use this with the Quattrini engine, and we've altered it to suit internally for the carburetor and carburation and everything else. Put this dummy tank on it, which is unusual. We're portraying these as the original 90SS tank. As you can see, the badges are just distinguishable there through the murk and shit of the many years it's been on the road. It's a moped tank, but it's ideal. It gives us a second feed. It's got a nice exhaust on it. The exhaust works very well.
It's a Ludwig, Ludwig exhaust pipe.
When
really punches the power in, doesn't it?
It does. It kicks it. It really does. You think you're doing well, probably with your gloves on, you think, oh, I must be on full throttle. And you think, oh no, I'm not. And it goes again. You think, holy shit. And the front end, coming onto the mic straight up the top, I was a bit annoyed with myself having to go down to first for the climb up, because I missed second and went to neutral, down to first and drove up the hill, round the corner, and I came out with a bit of red mist, and I was at an angle, and it was wanting to come up it went light at the front end. I thought, shit, if that happens at an angle, you can go down very easily. Do not do that. And I thought, right, okay, lesson learned, behave yourself, Kerr.
I gave it a little bit of a punch through the chicane before the start finish.
Yeah.
In second, you just roll on the power, and as you come out on to go right, put it there, and the front wheel did come off the ground as I changed direction in second.
Oh, I know.
It's
quick. I always said anybody I ever talked to about riding, always to keep, when you're cornering, keep your head over the speedo. If your head's over the speedo, there's weight there, and the weight helps to keep it where it should be. But it's a nice wee specimen, isn't it? Trick wee paint job. Bit dirty just now, but we'll get that cleaned up, and hopefully it'll do as it's told, I think.